Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. The latest episode of Jonathan Clarke Video Blogs is streaming once again on YouTube. If you have not subscribed, I would love for you to be a part of this YouTube channel. It's an honor to be in your guys' presence. It's an honor to meet you for what is probably the first time ever that you're watching this YouTube channel. And I promise you, as you read in the description, you will have a greater appreciation for all things Disney, all things Nickelodeon, everything Descendants of Zombies, because I am the biggest fan in the world of all of these stars. And I mean that with all of my heart, because I put my heart behind every single video that I upload on this YouTube channel for each and every one of you, because it proves more apparent every day that people are loving this YouTube channel for the videos that are uploaded, because you're all subscribing to this YouTube channel overnight throughout the day. When you get home from school, you're watching my videos. And it has become the greatest honor of my life recording these videos for each and every one of you and showcasing your favorite stars, Freya, Skye, Kyle, for the true stars they are, as opposed to providing you with criticism, which, no matter what way you choose to look at it, constructive or just average criticism, there's no place for criticism in the conversation about Descendants of Zombies. And it really frustrates me when people like Freya, Skye, and Kyle are feeling upset because of how people feel about them. You know, I heard Kyle say on a video on TikTok about a year and a half ago when Descendants of the Rise of Web was under production, and they just finished the production value of it, and she said on a TikTok video that she missed all of her friends, and she started crying because people were feeling down on her. They were feeling downhearted about her, and she started crying, and she said, "I miss all of my friends." What Kyle needs to think about is she has all of her friends around her every single time she steps out onto that stage. She performs in front of each and every one of you as the character Red, or whatever character you remember Kyle for being on Disney Channel and Disney Plus, because High School Musical, the series, was phenomenal. Gabby Duran on The Unsittables on Disney Channel was a great show, although it was very short-lived, and it was a series that ended long before its time. I saw her in Berserk and all these recurring roles, Raven's Home. I think that what Kyle really needs to understand and put into perspective is, while she may be missing her friends, which I get, because I've been in a lot of places in the world where I've missed my friends, I've missed home. I was away from this island for over 15 months in 2007, and I couldn't see the ocean for what felt like forever. And when I finally had the opportunity after 15 months of being away from home to see the ocean, I broke down into tears. I became emotionally overcome with how I felt about being away from home and seeing the ocean for the first time ever, because when you can't see things that you necessarily haven't valued in your entire life and you tend to forget about, it really changes your perspective on life. So when I saw the ocean for the first time ever, I broke down in tears. And I think that Kyle needs to realize that even though she misses her friends, which I totally get, because she's human and she hurts like all of us do, because we're dealing with certain situations in our life or circumstances we don't necessarily understand because we're young, but that doesn't mean that we won't get there and it won't come full circle for us, because every dream can become a reality for somebody. Every single time that she misses her friends, she needs to think about each and every one of you and how supportive you've been of Kyle. And that's why I say you're the greatest fans in the world, because you took a guy who had a career as a journalist who was talking about a lot of stuff that didn't make a whole lot of sense to a whole lot of people. And then I just started talking about Descendants of Zombies from out of nowhere. I just randomly showed up on YouTube one day on August 5th, 2024. I took a shot at this, and I uploaded a video, and I didn't know how many people the video was going to reach. I didn't know how the video was going to be received, and you guys took something that literally started as a whisper and turned it into a global phenomenon. For my passions, I would share with you on Kyle, Ruby Rose Turner, who I love dearly. There hasn't been a day go by since Ruby announced she was parting ways with the Descendants franchise. Why? It's beyond me. That I haven't been heartbroken, because I thought Ruby offered so much to the franchise. Ruby's really my girlfriend, because Ruby is a really nice person with a genuine personality. That's the thing about Ruby that gets me every single time. Ruby was always there to perform for each and every one of you, give you the best performances ever, and I think that because Ruby was always there to perform for each and every one of you, that means so much to me. That Ruby was able to bring the best out of not only herself, but everybody she worked with. And it also meant so much to me when I saw Kyle performing at the level and the criteria that she was always and forever meant to perform at. You know, always having a passion to perform on the Descendants stage, to always perform on the High School Musical stage, and share every single moment with each and every one of you. And that's something I came away from the Worlds Collide Tour and all the reviews I was posting on YouTube for you guys throughout the summer of 2025, making it the greatest summer of my life, very appreciative of, is how Kylie Cantrell not only appreciated being in your guys' presence, but she appreciated the moment. And that's what's going to make Kylie Cantrell's career as a singer and an actress very remarkable in years to come. I hope 20 years from now, still talking about Kylie Cantrell, and you guys still have made me your voice of Descendants of Zombies. I honestly hope that we're talking about Descendants in a reunion 20 years from now, because if we can get to a point where Good Luck Charlie and Friends and Seinfeld and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air have all these 20-year reunions, 20 years after their premiere back in the lateral part of the 1990s, I think we can have a reunion for Descendants happen, even though it seems impossible right now. Anything is possible with Disney, because we've come into an era now where franchises mean more, and they need to be presented with prestige and honor and showcase for their true value and their true worth. Because some of those beautiful friendships of all time I have forever believed and have become convinced have happened because of Descendants of Zombies. How these girls can sing these beautiful songs and come off as true inspirations to millions of people. And that's why I say we need to really outshine the criticism, because that's what a critic does. They upload videos on YouTube to get reactions out of each and every one of you because they know you're fans of Descendants of Zombies. And there are people of so many different ages who watch these videos. And because there are so many people of so many different ages who watch these videos, people tend to take advantage of you because they know they can get reactions out of you. But I have always believed that you guys, being fans of these two franchises, are some of the smartest fans in the world, and you know more than ever given credit for. So because you know more than ever given credit for, you know everything there is to expect to be known about Descendants of Zombies. Your favorite stars, from what their favorite color is, what their favorite song is, what their favorite meal at McDonald's is, what their favorite video game or board game may be, what they like, what they don't like, who they're in relationships with, who they broke up with last night. You guys know everything there is to know. And that's what makes you so cool. And that's what makes you such an honor to be in the presence of, to talk about your favorite stars and Descendants of Zombies, because you know there is everything to know that there is to know about Descendants of Zombies. So because you know that, people will try to take advantage of you and say, okay, this is the release window for Descendants 5. This is what's being suggested for Zombies 5. But I am the most honest guy on YouTube, and I say I'm the most honest guy on YouTube because I'm just like each and every one of you. I don't know what's going to happen from one moment to the next when I talk about Descendants of Zombies every single time that I upload a video. I just know that Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland just finished production, like all of you already know, and I'm just making predictions of what I think is going to happen. For sure, we're going to see the consequences of time travel played out in this movie. I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about Red having a sister for the first time ever, whom I'm excited to meet. But there's just something about the plot not feeling right without Ruby Rose Turner. And maybe that's because I think I'm the biggest Ruby Rose Turner fan in the world. I really do love what Ruby brought to the franchise. And I think forever and always there's a story to be told about Bridget, because Bridget was just a lovely character. And I really do believe she became everybody's favorite. Because when you think about the characters that we've seen in the past, the most revered, obviously, of all time was Mel, and then Evie comes second to her. I think that definitely Bridget became everybody's favorite character because of what she represented. And because of what she represented, she will forever be remembered as a character that may have been there for a very short time, but left the most significant of an impact. Which is why, if I was the writer and producer of Descendants, I would try to find something for Ruby to do in present-day Wonderland, because you can't honestly tell me a company worth $158 billion in revenue could not have contracted Ruby Rose Turner to play that character out in present-day Wonderland. And with how innovative of minds you have as part of the production crew for Descendants, you couldn't have come up with something for Ruby to do. Ruby just decided to part ways with the franchise, and it's the only logical explanation that you can give us. I say this because I saw the reactions from people when news first was released that Ruby was not going to be a part of the franchise moving forward. And my heart really was broken. I was at a loss for words because I really thought that moving forward, Ruby was going to have the opportunity to perform on stage as the character Bridget, which she had previously done for the Worlds Collide Tour, and she was going to be a part of every franchise that Disney was going to promote over the years, over the next foreseeable future, because I really do believe that Ruby's message of kindness was a message that was never given enough credit. But it did manage to touch the hearts of millions of people, because I saw that with my own two eyes, so people would stay friends for forever, think each other were so cool, and be supportive of each other, even under the most bizarre of circumstances that they couldn't understand or make sense of, because we're young. And I think that as fans of these franchises, we look for positive messages. We look for answers to questions that we don't even know the answers of ourselves. Believe you me, if I knew the answer to every question you had about Descendants and Zombies, I would tell you. All I can tell you is that I'm a fan of Life is Sweeter When You Are. I'm a fan of Get Your Hands Dirty. I'm a fan of the opening dance number of the Descendants franchise because I really believe that these songs captivated a global audience. I really believe the messages that we heard about in the script were messages we never saw or heard ever before of a fan of a particular franchise. No matter what era of Disney we remember being a fan of, we were never a fan of a franchise as much as what we became a fan of a franchise, such as Descendants of Zombies. Perhaps it had something to do with the profound impact that Dove Cameron had as the Mal character and how revered she became, and Evie coming in as a close second. Although I've questioned that too because the videos I've been uploading about Sophia Carson and that character have become so revered and probably get more views than Dove Cameron videos. They outdo my Dove Cameron videos from time to time, and I have every fan of Sophia Carson out there to thank too, which I haven't forgotten about. And there will be more Sophia Carson and Dove Cameron videos coming up on this YouTube channel in due time. You just got to give me time to produce these videos because of course I have to record the video, I have to shoot the video, I have to edit the video, and then I have to upload the video to my YouTube channel. It all takes time. But in due time, every one of your favorite stars get honored. Because I really do believe that there is a certain way and a certain pride and a passion that goes with talking about Descendants and Zombies, so that your favorite stars feel more confident in their abilities, so that they're living up to a certain criteria, which they should never have to do. I mean, I saw a video of your favorite Descendant stars from the Rise of Red cast, and they were in this cafeteria. They were in the same cafeteria as the Backstreet Boys, and a couple of other celebrities were there, but the most notable ones were the Backstreet Boys. And as much as big of a fan they were of the Backstreet Boys, they couldn't even go over to say hello to the Backstreet Boys. They were forced to stay at their own table. There were things they could say and they couldn't say about the Descendants franchise while shooting a TikTok live video from the cafeteria, but they couldn't even get up and go over and say hello to Howie. I say this because I'm the biggest fan of the Backstreet Boys. I've been the biggest fan of the Backstreet Boys since their first album dropped on May 6, 1996. And that wasn't yesterday. I remember being in the line on the day of the premiere of the Backstreet Boys album. It was just called Backstreet Boys. And then after that, years later, they came out with Backstreet's Back. I believe I think it was 1999. Backstreet's Back dropped, 1998, 1999. I know Millennium dropped in 1999, just before the turn of the millennium. And I was the biggest fan of the Backstreet Boys. So it's no strange thing for me to be a fan of Descendants over 20 years later. Because if there was a guy that thought the Backstreet Boys music was really hot, really cool, it was this guy. Because the Backstreet Boys were the hottest thing ever. The Backstreet Boys were the coolest vibe. I think that when you can really showcase a greater appreciation for what you love and what you talk about on your YouTube channel, I think that really shows dedication to a franchise or some fad that has kind of come and went. Like how Twilight was one of the most revered vampire stories of all time because of how Edward and Jacob kind of wanted to one-up each other for the heart of Bella Swan. I remember that story. I remember the saga and how crazy everybody was about it. And I've often compared Descendants of Zombies to that franchise because I would have loved to have seen Descendants of Zombies premiere around the same time when Twilight and the Vampire Diaries were competing for supremacy as the top vampire franchise in the world. Now, without a doubt, Vampire Diaries and Twilight were light years ahead because there were 65 million people who loved Twilight. There are over 25 million people subscribed to the Twilight fan page who are still following updates on Twilight and hoping we're going to see a new Twilight chapter in the franchise. 25 years after Twilight reached the heights of unprecedentedness with the book sales and the movies, which is really cool. You know, I've really gotten into the vampire kind of thing. You know, I've tried to vampire slay every night when you guys were asleep, jumping through my window. That's the reason why I'm wearing a black shirt this morning. I just came in off my shift, and I haven't changed my shirt yet. But I really think that what really made these vampire franchises stand out and what made Dawn of the Vampire stand out from this past summer was just how beautiful the story is and how beautiful the story has yet to become. Because the beautiful thing about Victor and Nova are we don't know much about them. So because we don't know much about them, it keeps us guessing for the foreseeable future. Because we don't know what's inside of the vortex. So because we don't know what's inside of the vortex, and yours truly has never encountered a vortex, although I would voluntarily jump inside of one, I've been honest about that with an open heart and an open mind, letting everybody know that I would voluntarily jump inside of a vortex just to uncover the mystery of it. Because I think vortexes are really cool, although they are associated with doom and the end of time. I get that. But somebody's got to do it because they're just talking about this vortex as if they're so oblivious to what's inside of it. Duh, it's mermaids, it's pirates, it's witches, it's everything all in the one, which makes it really exciting. It's just setting us up for Zombies 5, which they've done at the end of every Zombies movie. I remember at the end of Zombies 2 when Addison's hair started to glow, and we started to be teased about her discovering her past as an alien. And I remember being so excited on the Zombies 2 premiere because of the end of Zombies 2 and a setting up for Zombies 3, which a lot of people thought they were going to get to, and they were going to close the book on Zombies forever, forgetting about how many supernatural characters we had yet to see their introduction into the franchise. And I was so excited about it because Addison was just trying to find her place in the world like many of us struggle to do every single day because of peer pressure, because of going to a new grade, because of all the new people we're going to school with, because of pressure in our relationship, about how our boyfriends want us to feel. You don't really have to feel that kind of pressure because you're you, and that's the only person you're ever going to be throughout your whole life. And the best person that you can be throughout your whole life, no matter how long it is you. So I just want you guys to know that Zombies and Descendants really did do a great job of really putting out there that the best person that you can be in just one lifetime that you have to live and live out through is you. No matter how much peer pressure you're faced with, no matter how your boyfriend might feel about you, the thing is, the best person that you can be in this lifetime is you because you only have one life to live, and you only have one life to make count. And that's what I want for you guys. I want you to see the messages in Descendants and Zombies. I want you to be proud more than you ever been to be a fan of these two franchises because I really do believe that these two franchises really did touch our hearts. And they really did allow us to put our lives into perspective in ways that sometimes we've forgotten about, that we've been able to put our lives in perspective for. No matter if it was because of the music, the script, the story, what have you, Descendants and Zombies really was a 5-star production. And there really is no comparison to High School Musical. There's never been a comparison to Wizards of Waverly Place, because Descendants and Zombies will forever and always hold a special place in our hearts for whatever reason we were a fan of Descendants and Zombies. For me, it had a lot to do with how I was the biggest fan in the world of Kylie Control's YouTube channel, Hello Kylie, because she used to review all my favorite TV shows like Sam and Cat and Victorious, which I was a huge fan of. There was a point in time that I couldn't go without watching the latest episode of Victorious. I used to stay up at like 12:30 a.m. every Sunday night and watch the latest episode of Victorious because of air date restrictions and what had you in the place of the world I lived in. They would only air Victorious once a week. And as much as that sucked, every Sunday evening I would watch the latest episode of Victorious, and it wasn't even in a primetime slot until I started a debate on whether or not Victorious should be given a better primetime slot where I lived. But I used to stay up every Sunday night at 12:30 a.m. and watch the latest episode of Victorious, and it was so cool because I knew these stars had something special to offer. I knew these stars were going to be something for the foreseeable future, and I thought that they were the most talented cast ever. And I'm saying the same thing about your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars because they do not deserve to be criticized. They do not deserve to feel that pain. That pain of where they're wondering if, okay, they're living up to a certain criteria. If, in fact, they are touching the hearts of so many wonderful people. Because they are. And they have friends in each and every one of you. Because I really do believe that some of our best friends came because of Descendants of Zombies. And it happened because of these two franchises. Because the franchises that we grew up with were franchises that we're still talking about 10 years ago. It is really hard for me to believe that Descendants and Zombies happened over 10 years ago. And Descendants and Zombies touched our hearts in so many unbelievable ways through the power of the music, the power of the script, and we're giving it 5-star ratings 10 years after its premiere. And we're still watching the original movies because we're just as big a fan of Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson as we were on the night of their premiere. And I know because I was there for the night of the premiere, and I was so excited, and I never felt so honored to talk about a franchise because I was really hoping Disney was going to come out with a franchise that was going to captivate millions of people. And they did it. And they knew what they were doing because they wanted to relay a message of how these fairy tale characters from Alice in Wonderland and Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty would go on to become some of the most revered characters of all time because of the franchises they represented, because they wanted to make the most of their own lives and the opportunities they were given ever since 1958. And if you go back even further, Snow White the Evil Queen exists back as far as 1938, which was the first silent movie that Walt Disney had ever seen that he turned into a classic. And because of the success success of that one, Disney would go on to produce over 100 successful animated movies, computer generated or not. I'm going to see Tron Ares on Friday, and I'm really excited about it. But that just shows how much of a metamorphosis Disney has undergone over the years, going from traditional animation to CGI and beyond. Now we're seeing movies in D-Box and IMAX, and it's really cool. And I know you can't go to the movies anymore with $50 or less. I used to go to movies. I say this because I used to go to see Disney movies for $5.99 on Tuesdays. 25 years ago, there was a local theater near the house I used to live in, and every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. I'd go to the new premiere for $5.99 with tax. And that was considered to be really cool back then, and a fun time to be a fan of movies. Like, if Enchanted was in the box office or Hannah Montana, you could just skip off to the movie 5 minutes away. Now it's an hour drive, and it's like $50 that you go to see a movie. But I think that watching Disney's metamorphosis has been such an honor for me, and to be able to showcase it on this YouTube channel has been a whole lot of fun. If I watched the movie, I played the video game. If I played the video game, I played the board game. If I watched the movie, I played the board game right after, because there were movies years ago that you'd have to watch the movie and then play the game. So everything that you could have done as a Disney fan, I did. I catched every episode of the latest episode of Goof Troop and Darkwing Duck and The Jungle Book and Aladdin every afternoon on the Disney Afternoon block on Disney Channel. And Saturday morning, I was really excited for Saturday morning cartoons, because I have a greater appreciation for what it's like to be each and every one of you. I have a greater appreciation for talking about your favorite franchises that you grew up with. And it has a lot to do, and really everything to do, with how I know you grew up with them. And because I know you grew up with them, because I did too, I was so excited about every premiere Disney had, every live-action movie they would eventually come out with years later, from Beauty and the Beast to Cinderella, from 2017 all the way back to 2015. 2010, I believe, was when the live-action Alice in Wonderland premiered with Johnny Depp. And I say that because I was the biggest Alice in Wonderland fan ever. So if you're wondering if I was excited that Alice in Wonderland characters were seeing their introduction into the Descendants franchise, I was absolutely excited. I was more than thrilled to talk about the Mad Hatter and the Cherokee Cat after being a fan of them for years. But I've often wondered, where is Alice in the Descendants franchise? Because I really believe that character could offer so much to a franchise that has meant so much to many millions of people over the years. And because of Alice not seeing her introduction into the franchise, that should give you hope enough to believe that this story about the Alice in Wonderland characters is far from over. Because we really do still have a long way to go, and still so much more of a story to explore, because that's what the Alice in Wonderland franchise was all about. It was exploring the franchise. It was about exploring the world and coming up with so many possibilities that you never ever thought would happen within a franchise. There are a total of 4 books, which gives you even more reason to believe that with 2 of them being looked at, there are still an additional 2. And there's still so much more of a story to be told. But I always remembered Alice in Wonderland, being a fan of it for so many X number of years, that it was a world where there was so much exploration and so much to discover and be a part of. So because there's so much to discover and be a part of with Wonderland, there is still so much of a story for Red to uncover and be a part of as she discovers her place in Ordon as its next princess. Because Princess Red is a beautiful way of referring to Kylie Contrell. And as long as she has friends like each and every one of you, that is something to be incredibly excited about, and I've never felt more honored to commentate for. You guys are the best fans in the world. Please don't ever forget it. If you get a moment, please hit my subscribe button and join me on this incredible journey, because this has been a journey that I will never ever forget. Having the honor to talk about your favorite franchises that I know you grew up with, that I know means so much to you, and having the honor to meet each and every one of you and talk about Descendants of Zombies has been the greatest honor of my life. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to be a part of your life as your voice of Descendants of Zombies. I have a new podcast dropping later on this afternoon just as you get home from school, and I'm hoping you're going to join me for it. I'm working really hard to create great videos for you guys, because I know about the passions that exist inside of your hearts for Descendants of Zombies, and I just wanted to do my absolute best to honor the franchises in a way that no other YouTube creator can honor the franchises, because they don't know how to commentate and provide you commentaries on Descendants of Zombies, because I honestly believe that the people who are uploading videos about Descendants of Zombies haven't even watched the franchise from beginning to end. Rest assured, I have seen the franchises from beginning to end, retro and current, and I think they are fabulous. I think they have a bright future ahead of them. I think all the stars have opportunities to be extended to them, and I'm going to make sure it happens for them. If there's one thing I go down in history for having been done, It is to secure the futures of your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars because they deserve to have futures secured. And if it's the last thing I do for each and every one of you, it is going to be to secure the futures of your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars. So if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, I think you're going to really like it here. Because October is going to be a big month. We have birthdays of Ruby Rose Turner and Freya Skye happening on October 16th through 17th. Of course, coming up first will be Ruby's, followed by Freya's less than 24 hours later. And I've got a lot of fun stuff planned, as well as the countdown to Halloween happening in October. Fear Fest is ongoing now on AMC from 1996 onward. They've been doing this Fear Fest thing. And because I was never the biggest fan of Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger kind of stuff, and it really freaks me out, I think the best way to spend my countdown to Halloween is with each and every one of you uploading Descendants of Zombies videos for the rest of my life. And while I claim to hunt vampires and zombies every single night to protect you guys, I don't know how I'd feel about having to take out Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger. I don't want to have to do that anytime soon, although I know they could be coming for me at any given moment. But thankfully I'm wearing a black shirt that I wore last night after getting off my shift, which I haven't changed, and I'm ready to go as we are just 3 weeks away from Halloween, something like 26 days out from Halloween 2025. So we got the countdown to Halloween happening. We've got everything to discuss about Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide Tour, Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland's premiere, reviews of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires happening all the time. And if you are a fan of Descendants of Zombies, I think you should subscribe, because this is the #1 Descendants of Zombies show currently on YouTube. We are the best. And this is the latest episode of Jonathan Clarke Video Blogs, which you have been watching. And I've been so honored to upload for you to YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep kindness in your heart, because kindness really does go a long way in this world. And we will talk more, having a whole lot more to say about Descendants of Zombies and the foreseeable future, guys. Thank you so much.